So like there are times where I won't even think about these franchises for a really long time, and then I might just watch a trailer or a random YouTube video about one of them, right? It comes up suggested on my feed, or I'll have a conversation with a buddy like Radley, and then like, fast forward a week later and I'm wearing Sonic underwear and listening to Sonic.
You legit have Sonic underwear?
I
really
did. I definitely did. I definitely at one point in my life can lay claim to that.
You just open a beer, Mark? I'll open a beer to that.
All time, Mark.
Absolutely.
All right, you're my favorite customer.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sonic Historian Podcast, the show where we discuss Sonic the Hedgehog and try to decide if Sonic was ever good. My name is Radrey, and I am joined today by my co-host Marc and today's special guest Benji. Now, this is an episode that will be both part origin story of the show and a conversation with a Sonic fan who unironically loves both the classic Sonic games and the modern Sonic ones, and why you should too. So to begin, for the longest time, I was telling Marc in an earlier podcast that not only was I a big fan of the Sonic games, but I was also a really big fan of the Archie Sonic series until around issue 71 when I really felt like the story lost its steam. And it wasn't really until Sonic Mania, the game, and when that came out that I really was, my interest in Sonic was rekindled because, I was visiting some old nostalgia from my past. And so, I had a lot of good memories about the Archie comic, and so I decided to pick up the IDW series since the Archie series was canceled. And I picked this up and I started reading it, and I started noticing all these characters that I had no idea onto who they were. And I wasn't sure if it was just new characters for the comic book or they were actually Sonic characters. Ones in particular that stood out to me were who is Blaze the cat? Who is Silver the hedgehog? What are wisps? And things like that. So it just started to make me really curious. And the more I looked into the fandom, the more I realized that this was not just, a small puddle. This was a deep, deep ocean, a huge iceberg. That, if I'm going to be committed to something like this, I'm going to have to take it seriously and really dedicate myself to this franchise to fully understand it. I mean, it's going to be, I'm going to have to play the 3D games. I'm going to have to reread a lot of the Archie comics, until it got canceled, which is 350 issues. And I think the biggest thing was, I think it was around this time that the Sonic movie was coming out.
And Benji, every day at work, you'd ask me, so, have you seen the Sonic movie yet? I'm like, nah, and I kept putting it off because I wanted to see it in the theater and I wanted to see it properly. I was kind of on the fence because, how it was with the Sonic film. It's just that, they re-released it with the better CG. And, eventually I got around to watching it. Yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was.
But for the movie industry, though, I also think that that's actually quite important because unlike certain movie studios that seemingly attack fans, like when the Ghostbusters movie had a really bad reaction, people were saying, yeah, if you don't go see Ghostbusters, you're sexist, or if you don't like Captain Marvel, you're sexist, or basically attacking fans, attacking people who have a negative reaction to an obviously shitty movie. In this case, though, with the Sonic movie, they actually listened to people. They listened to fans, and instead of attacking fans, they went back and they actually they fixed it. And it's a very, very different reaction. And the movie was a big success. So
was this the first time this has ever happened where they
I think so, I think so. And it's great in the sense that it shows that if you listen to your audience and you give them what you want instead of throwing it back at them, you will make money.
Well, it's an obvious I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm fine. But yeah.
Yeah, it's an immediate feedback machine, right? It's in a way, it's every marketer's wet dream, right? Because a lot of the times, when you work on a business or you're putting out a product, whether it's an information product or something a story or even a physical product, something that you would sell on Wish, for example, there's not a lot of ways to know if your audience is actually going to like it, unless, you know, the only way to know is to like put all the work in, put it out as a product, and then like see if it sells or not. And that's your feedback, right? Whereas like a lot of these movie studios actually have the luxury that they don't take advantage of, which is to actually get very real-time feedback when they put out a trailer or whatever. And a lot of them are just like, no, you're just dumb or you're sexist or whatever. If you don't,
ridiculous.
Yeah, if you don't understand the vision. And so I think one thing, and this is just, I mean, I'm just spitballing here, but I think that one thing about the Sonic movie that was different perhaps was that through Sonic's dubious incarnations into 3D over the years, like he's kind of already on thin ice, right? Like Sega itself isn't putting out platforms even, and like Sonic's are already on thin ice. So like they don't have the luxury that something, you know, that a company like Marvel / Disney does to just be like, well, screw you. You know, you don't know anything because like, you're not woke.
People do love to hate on Sonic. Yes. Hence why, like, I did find the whole. Hence why, yeah, there are people that are gonna hate on Sonic Mania, and I found that absolutely ridiculous. Like, people were just bitching the bitch. And to be honest with you, maybe you guys feel otherwise, but I actually like Sonic Forces. I don't know what.
I actually never played Forces.
I don't know what the I don't know what the problem was. I need to get that far.
Still on Heroes.
I don't know what the problem was there. I thought, yeah, it is a short, fun game. I mean, it's kind of like a sugary Saturday morning sugary cereal. The game, I'm perfectly fine of eating sugary cereal on a Saturday morning. So I mean, I had a good time, and
so it was like a guilty pleasure in a way.
And if I had been maybe 20 years younger, I would have this would have blown me the fuck away. As a little kid.
Well, that's true. Like if I was 5 or 6 or 7, because I met Sonic at 5, but then if I was 6 or 7 and then saw a game that you could customize your own Sonic-like character, I would have literally shit my Sonic pants. Like that would happen.
But anyway, no, I thought it was actually a pretty fun game. It definitely is not innovative or groundbreaking, but I thought it was pretty fun for what it was. It definitely is not a bad game, I feel. But there was like a lot of shit on it, and I just didn't really understand. But okay. But anyway, yeah, people love to hate on the Hedgehog. But
why do you think that is? Just because the bad game design choices?
Sonic 06 is a generally bad game. Okay. They didn't finish it. Okay. Sonic Heroes, I'm still partial to, but some of those bosses are pretty shit. I mean, I would say that's a lot of the 3D games, mainly 06, parts of Heroes, and Unleashed. They do have their game design problems, most definitely.
Okay, so it's all just the game design that has everybody shouting these arguments all the time.
And then on top of that, you do have a very an overzealous kind of fan base that
it's very polarizing. Yeah,
I mean, I do like Sonic as a.
Mark, do you think Sonic kind of, because it seems like Sonic kind of stole ideas from a lot of other properties? Because I was thinking like, you know, because he turns into Super Sonic like Super Saiyan and, you know, Dragon Ball Z, and he fights I guess you could say a mad scientist like Dr. Wily from Mega Man. Do you think he kind of aped these ideas, or do you think they're all just kind of, it's coincidental?
I don't think there's any coincidences at all.
Okay.
I don't do that.
You think it's purely intentional that they aped all these ideas from other franchises?
I mean, the music by itself is an entire discussion right there, and as I proved my point in my private conversation, I mean, like everybody copies everybody.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right.
Even the Mario theme songs, which I proved to you, like were derivative.
Yeah, we have to have a podcast episode where we just talk about the music, because it seems like there's a lot there.
So yeah, even like I shared with you some city pop, and like a lot of that's where the Mario theme song came from. So
right, like level 2, the
level
underground
2,
stage.
Yeah, that's all derivative of a lot of city pop, Japanese city pop from the 80s.
Right. So kind of the argument where everybody copies everybody.
Most definitely. And so classical sticks, something like a mad scientist versus, taking out a mad scientist. I mean, that's been done countless times.
Or taking out a big lizard.
Taking out a big lizard. Although a very fast spinning blue hedgehog is an original idea, though. Yeah.
You didn't see that. That was not something that was a thing in video gaming. Because it was. I think for Americans, when Sonic came out, I had no idea what a hedgehog was. Because I've never seen one. Because I guess they're native to was it Europe, or I don't know where they're native to. I should Google that right now.
Although Oshima Naoto, he said that he based Sonic off of Mickey Mouse.
Right. Well, he originally started off as a rabbit, right?
That was Mickey Mouse started off as a rabbit, right? Oh, Sonic also did?
I think Sonic started off as a rabbit, but they wanted to do something with his ears, but they couldn't program it. And he was a blue rabbit, like a blue, I guess, like a Russian blue, where they're gray, but they look really blue.
So glad that he didn't turn out to be a rabbit, because that would have been super lame.
Well, they needed a character that could essentially take advantage of the physics engine that they were using. So originally he was just like a ball, like a blue ball, but they needed a character that would be able to spin and roll and basically become a ball as they pitched it. So hence why one of the original pitches was a big fat man who later became Robotnik, because he was himself built like an egg, right? So if you look up some of the original designs, there is a picture of a big fat dude who looks like Santa Claus. And he's shaped like an egg, and then eventually.
Yeah, I've seen this picture. It's the one where he's what is it? He looks like he's wearing pajamas or something, right?
Yeah. So that was actually one of the original pitches for a character, but they liked the design so much they turned it into the bad guy. But he was supposed to be like a fat kind of egg shaped man who could roll around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I looked up on Google, hedgehogs can be found in Europe, Asia, Africa, New Zealand. Yeah, but not North America.
That's why we're unfamiliar with them.
Yeah.
The needle mouse.
The needle mouse, yeah. I guess, would you call him a mouse? Is that a mouse?
In Japanese, they are, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, well, since that we have Benji here, maybe you want to tell us your background with Sonic and what's your history behind it.
When I was 5, and seriously, when I was 5, the first time I ever played a video game, I went over to my uncle's house, and he had a Sega Genesis, and sort of blew my 5-year-old mind that you could take up this controller and then and make this character on the screen move. And I was never a kid who was super into sports or anything. I was always a lot like you, right? Bradley, super into cartoons and very obscure niche things, even when I was really young. And when all the other little boys were out playing soccer, I was drawing pictures. And a lot of those pictures consisted of the characters that I like Looney Tunes and Tiny Toons. And then, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog. And so it sort of began there, and it's sort of ironic, or I guess not ironic, that now I live in Japan, because this was when I was 5 and obviously really impressionable. It was my first experience with the Japanese culture. I just didn't know it at the time. And I just really enjoyed how colorful and engaging the games were. And as a 5-year-old, I guess that's kind of how you get drawn in, right? It's very, very stimulating. And then as I got a little older and moved through primary school, I got more and more into the fandom myself. And, there wasn't a huge sense of continuity for me. It was sort of like if Sonic was served on the menu, I would eat Sonic happily. I would consume Sonic material happily. And so I definitely was into the Archie comics. I love the first game for what it is, but I think that my confession is that I didn't. That's when I became a Sonic fan, but it really struck. It really solidified, in my mind not even when Sonic 2 came out, but when Sonic 3 came out and Sonic and Knuckles came out, for the holidays, I think I got the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge even before I got the Sonic 3 cartridge. And I fell in love with Knuckles, right, as the character. And so I already loved Sonic. And, you know, as a kid, especially, you know, during that time, you know, pre-internet, if a property were to release a new character, that was sort of like really groundbreaking. And so Knuckles helped me to interface with these levels and the level design in a completely new and different way. But I think the reason I like that Knuckles really resonated with me is because you were allowed to move at a slower pace through the levels, at least slightly slower, and then, you know, sort of utilize his gliding and his wall crawling using his knuckles to explore, I guess, the environments of the game level designs. And so you have Sonic 3 / Sonic and Knuckles that is sort of, in my opinion, at least, like the pinnacle of what the Sega Genesis could do in terms of design and art direction. And when I play a game, I think this is where Radley and I differ. Sometimes I play games for stories, like when I play Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts or a lot of the Square Enix properties. But a lot of the time when I play a game, in my mind, I think that it has the same, it occupies the same sort of neurological space as travel. So in the sense that, like, I enjoy experiencing the novelty of these new fantastic environments. And so Sonic, as cool as the character is, I mean, he's very fast and he's very loose, and it's very easy to, you know, fall off of high places and you know, onto spikes and then hear that boom sound, right? And then that's it, right? So there's not a lot of stability with Sonic, and I think that I felt very limited and tied to the ground with him. And then Tails was cool, but he's also useless. And I don't know why Tails didn't resonate as much as Knuckles did with me. I think that, like, Knuckles was like cooler. He was like the cool older brother kind of character. And so, but to put the three of these characters together was the first time that I saw Sonic as something more than, which sort of contradicts my point that I just made, but like it sort of was the first time where I saw these three characters making up a story that sort of happens in this world. Whereas when it was just Sonic, I felt like I was almost, you know, like I was like playing with one hand behind my, like, tied behind my back, because it was so easy to die as a character, and then therefore not as, I guess, like, easy to enjoy the level design itself, because I was too busy worrying about dying, right? So yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much sums it up, is that I fell in love just as much with the characters as I did with the level design and you know, the world that they built. And so you know, I watched the SAT-AM. I had a couple videotapes that I would watch ad nauseum over and over, but I was always really confused why Knuckles was not involved. And then I started to pick up a lot of the Archie comics, not in any way that there was any real, like, I didn't follow the story coherently. So if I saw Knuckles on the cover, I would get that. And that was really, really cool. And then there was sort of, that was the Sega Genesis. And then I think between then and like the PlayStation 2, I didn't really have a game console. I had the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. And so during that time, I mean, I got really into Pokemon, and then there was a little bit more cognizance that, okay, this was definitely not just, you know, a random game, but it was from a different country. It was so unique and novel. And then that sort of took root in my mind that, like, this other place was a thing that is Japan, right? And then when the Dreamcast came out, in between the time that I got, like, you know, in between the time that I stopped playing the Genesis because it was just too archaic, and then got my hands on a PS2, I had a few friends who got their hands on the Dreamcast, and like one of the very few games that was actually good and playable and also relevant to me at the time was Sonic Adventure. And it was just this whole renewal, like revival of Sonic. Like, I felt like I hadn't seen him in years. And then that was just sort of, that blew my mind. And then, you know, eventually Sonic Adventure 2 came out, and they introduced Shadow. And I thought that Shadow was a very interesting answer to Sonic, and he was a little bit edgier. in the same way that I felt that Knuckles was edgier, and so I think that really restored a lot of my faith in the franchise. Although I did really quite enjoy Sonic Adventure, like the first one. And at that point, I think at some point I got my hands on a GameCube as well as a PlayStation 2, and I was able to play, both adventure games, like the director's cut of Adventure 1 and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, or whatever the fuck it was called. And then Sonic Heroes came out, and it incorporated all of these characters together, and also like the Chaotix, which I had seen in the Archie comics. And yeah, that's basically my timeline. And then, I played Heroes, and I've pretty much more or less gotten my hands on most of the games subsequently. I didn't play Sonic the Hedgehog 4. I didn't play Forces. There's a couple others that slipped between the cracks, but most of them I think I've played. I also played a few of the obscure ones on, on the Game Boy Advance and the Nintendo DS, and even the 3DS.
Oh, Sonic Advance, as it's called?
Sonic Advance, and there's also like Sonic Battle, and that incorporates a lot of the characters throughout the different...
Is that a fighting game?
Yeah, and it's not that good, but it's still an interesting experiment. And anyway, I mean, look, I'm not like a layman when it comes to the fandom, I don't think. I mean, I'm not as intense as a lot of people in it, but I am pretty...
Speaking from the fandom.
Yeah, right. But I'm a pretty loyal fan. Like, I also cut a lot of these games a wide berth. So I don't remember playing... I remember that I played Sonic 2006, for example. I don't remember playing... Like, I don't remember the experience of playing it. But I don't remember it being like, oh, God, what is this? This is awful. I remember the story being a little weird. I don't know why Sonic was kissing a girl or a boy or whoever he was kissing. Like, that was a little strange. I don't really enjoy bestiality in my Sonic games. I'd rather keep it to Bats fucking echidnas. That's much more at home.
Okay. Yeah. I agree with this. Wholeheartedly agree.
But I mean, yeah. I guess Sonic has always provided sort of a place of respite for me, a place to go if I'm having a bad day. There's nothing much better than going, and playing a game within a franchise. It's just like overly colorful, with the exception of Shadow the Hedgehog, which I did play from start to finish, which wasn't very colorful at all. It was very disturbing. But I mean, I played...
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, well, at least the color palette it was a little contrived.
Oh, okay.
But
some people talk a lot about the ending with that one. I don't know too much about it.
I don't really remember very much, but I remember it was strange. Like, the whole thing was a strange experience. And I knew that going in. I think I was a high schooler when I played that. I'm like, this is going to be weird. But I played Sonic Riders. Like, I enjoyed all the Sonic R games, right? Like the Sonic racing games. I just recently purchased Sonic Team Racing, so that's sort of the most recent, up-to-date Sonic racing game where they're all needlessly in go-karts or something like that, or like little sports cars.
The one where Sonic has a car.
Yeah, but
why does he have a car?
Yeah, but I don't know. It's fine. Like the level design is pretty cool. It's pretty loyal to a lot of the the visual themes.
I sent you that meme, right? It's like, don't worry, if you ever feel useless, think about Sonic's car.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's sort of a handicap. Like, Sonic's driving the car, but then everybody else also has a fast car. But then Knuckles can get a fast car if he wants, and he still chooses like a big road cruiser, like it can bust through walls instead of speed. I don't know. So yeah. I mean, I'm a very average, normal, vanilla fan, but I think that the thing that brought you and I together, I mean, you and I have a lot of shared interests, and we actually have a lot of shared interests in some very niche things like Tim and Eric and Steep Rule and various other properties or whatever. But it's very rare for me to actually meet somebody who's that interested in Sonic and doesn't make fun of me for it. Like, I have friends...
You have friends that make fun of you for it?
I have friends who enjoy it equally, but will troll me because they know that I unironically listen to the music on Spotify. Right? Like, I have this one friend who will every so often send me a voice message online, and I'll just play it, and it'll just be him singing, rolling around at the speed of sound. Got no place to go, gotta follow your rainbow. Which is I think that was the song. I think that was
That's the song in Sonic 2.
Sonic 2, yeah. It was City Escape, right? And he knows that I will like actually play that soundtrack and also the Sonic Generation soundtrack.
I think that even further confirms my theory that Sonic 2 is the gay Sonic. Follow the rainbow? Why does he follow the rainbow? And it takes place in San Francisco, and Maria Robotnik dies of AIDS. And not AIDS, NIDS.
No. You guys are thinking a little bit too much about this.
All right, okay. But anyway, you're saying your friends dunk on you for this? That's the only thing?
Yeah.
Well, is there more?
Yeah. No, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm not nearly as much of a fanboy as you, and I say that from a place of
respect,
of admiration. Yeah. I wish that I had more merch and stuff like that, but I will unironically represent Sonic the Hedgehog and Knuckles the Echidna and even useless Miles Tails per hour forever, right? And I just enjoy it, and it's fun to talk to people who also have this interest and who are much more what's the word, adept in understanding the history and the context for Sonic and where Sonic came from, right? I guess, yeah, community and having an outlet, right, to de-stress with, and these are all the things that the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise has definitely provided for people, which kind of explains why you can have a podcast and feature so many different people from so many different walks of life, One of my all-time favorite Sonic games is Sonic Generations. That game is just so good.
Oh yeah, it's great. And again, that's why I liked Forces too. Is it's just more Generations actually.
It's that there is an element of Generations because like Little Sonic comes through, doesn't he?
It's the same team, and like there's the 2D Sonic stages and there's the 3D Sonic stages.
Huh? Maybe I should play it.
It is good. So if you like Generations, you like Forces.
Yeah, my favorite part of Generations was it had a lot of my favorite levels, not the least of which was Sky Sanctuary. I think that's one of my all-time favorite levels of any of them. That's it's the last level in Sonic 3 or the second to last, I forget. And that was, again, going back to when I was a kid. I was probably like 8 or 9 when I actually got my hands on that game. But when I played through that game and arrived at Sky Sanctuary, that was like I was just taken away to a different world, and that was really, really cool. I really liked the environment. I thought it was very mystical, and there was something very mysterious about it.
It is cool. The teleporter takes you right there, and then Knuckles helps you out, and then you fight the what is it? Mecha Sonic. That's it. And if you're playing as Knuckles, he turns into Super Mecha Sonic, right?
Yeah.
And then it has that really cool song that plays.
Yeah, and the level right before that too, Lava Reef, was also a winner, I thought. Especially when you get to that secret realm or whatever, and it's like where all of
the second half when everything turns blue.
Yeah, exactly. And then you go to the room with all the Chaos Emeralds, and that's sort of where you confront Knuckles, or Knuckles confronts Robotnik. I really did like how I thought it was really cool that Sonic got to fight against Knuckles as a boss. That was also it was an interesting way to play out that story.
Kind of like in Sonic Adventure 1. Where you fight him as a boss. And he said, well, no, you fight him for 3. Like
he goes like, oh no.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no!
He's got 3 oh no's before he's like you defeat him.
Wait, why do you fight Knuckles in Sonic Adventure?
Because he has he has one of the emeralds or something, and then you have to get it from him, and then there's a cutscene, and
Jesus,
it's part of the story.
He thinks you're stealing. I don't know. He thinks you're. He's always pissed off. Whatever.
Well, that's the other thing.
Fuck Knuckles.
Well, I mean, not fair, but at the same time, Knuckles is an idiot. Like, it's the one thing about him that he's just so thick-headed. He's just really dumb.
Right. I was talking to Benji about this. We were talking about how he's never really had he's never had a respectable story. I mean, in terms of the games, because he was the word you use is they always portray Knuckles as a crackhead. He's always hanging out around this big emerald, and he never really does anything. He just collects rocks and.
I said that?
Yeah, he said he's like a crackhead.
He does have an addiction to these rocks, these shiny rocks that make people feel powerful when they consume them. That's pretty much. I mean, I'm not nearly as much of a fanboy as you, and I say that from a place of
respect,
of admiration. Yeah, I wish that I had more merch and stuff like that. But I will unironically represent Sonic the Hedgehog and Knuckles the Echidna and even useless Miles Tails Prower forever, right? And I just enjoy it, and it's fun to talk to people who also have this interest and who are much more adept in understanding the history and the context for Sonic and where Sonic came from, right? I guess community and having an outlet, right, to de-stress with, and these are all the things that the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise has definitely provided for people, which kind of explains why you can have a podcast and feature so many different people from so many different walks of life. Yeah,
it's an interesting statement. What do you think about that, Mark? Do you kind of agree with everything that Benji said?
To a degree, I suppose. Yeah. I mean,
do you think Tails is useless?
Well, if I pick up controller number 2 during a boss fight, then no. Technically he can't quote unquote die. So it's all right. Well, I'll have Sonic stay in the corner, and I'll just have Tails, do the rest of the fight.
Right.
This is especially helpful during the Oil Ocean Zone boss.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, that's true, because Robotnik's he's in the oil ocean.
So you just have Tails jump in and just keep hitting him.
That's true. You could always do that. I never thought about that.
Yeah, but can you put Sonic in enough of a corner? Can you put Baby in enough of a corner that Baby is safe?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
All right, then. I think we'll end it there. Out of all that, is there anything you want to say before we go?
Me?
Anybody?
Got no place to go. Gotta follow my rainbow.
All right, there you go.
Well, okay.
I don't know how to end the show yet. I want to say do it to it, but Mark wants to say keep the grass green or something. Don't do meth. Listen to the Sonic Historian podcast.
That's the perfect way to end it.
Yeah, don't do meth. Listen to the Sonic Historian podcast. If you want to find any of our socials, they're down in the description below. So until then, I'm Radrey, and
I'm Mark. Follow me on Instagram.
Famicom Mark, right?
Actually, I am Super Famicom.
Oh, Super Famicom on Instagram.
I actually have the original Super Famicom. Name. So.
And Benji, do you want to plug anything?
Nah, just listen to their stuff and follow them on social and enjoy, please. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Not RisuPress or anything? No.
Yeah. Shit. Okay. Absolutely. Thank you, Radley, for reminding me. So, okay, I assume that our audience has a lot of overlap. If you like Sonic and video games and anime and all that really, really good stuff, you probably have an interest in the Japanese culture, and you might want to come check this out when the borders finally open up and people are vaccinated and we're living in a post-corona vaccinated world, because obviously we're not going to be living in a post-corona world. So if you are, and you're looking to find Japanese language courses or potentially get into a Japanese language school, you should check out RisuPress.com. That's RisuPress.com. And that's a business that I'm running with a really good friend of mine as well. And we sell a lot of really, really good study materials and courses, and it's a lot of fun. And it's a little edgy if you like synthwave and stuff like that. It's not your classic, excuse me, Samurai and Sakura and Mount Fuji-esque education platform. It's a little bit edgier and cooler than that, kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog over Mario, right? So yeah, RisuPress, we're on Instagram as well under that name. And yeah, thanks.
Are you comfortable being called a co-host? Can I call you co-host?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
All right. Okay. Main host. I guess like if there's two people on a podcast, they're both with the title co-host.
I have two daddies.
Yeah. Yeah. You have two daddies on this podcast. So today I brought in Benji. He is not sure how much detail we can go into. We're friends. We're friends.
Buddies, you can go into whatever detail you want, brother. I got another.
Yeah, I met him in a gay sex bathroom. It was awesome.
There was a glory hole.
Yeah.
Roman bathhouse. Okay.
Yeah, I think that Lovely.
Whatever. Like I don't know if you could hear all the folly in the background, but I don't know if you could hear Benji vaping, and then you're opening up another beer.
So we're just a bunch of degenerates talking about fucking Sonic.
You know, there was the whole argument about 3D Sonic, and you remember this one, Mark? The one where it was like Sonic was never good. Do you remember this argument?
I hate those people. So, I mean, I can understand why it might be kind of a turnoff to some people. Maybe they might feel that the pacing is wrong, or perhaps the Green Hill Zone is kind of a misleading sell on the game itself. But I don't feel that way. I think that as an actual legit like platforming game, it takes a lot of liberties and experiments that I think were pretty effective with like the physics engine. Like the kind of struggle of going up a hill and then going down a hill and building up momentum. I had not experienced that in a game before. Even like you feel the weight on the controller, right?
Sure.
And then that was maybe the first time in a video game I'd actually felt like heavy, like actual like tension on the controller.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's an illusion, but I felt it like, oh man, like had to go up this hill or had to go down the hill. So that, yeah, that was very, and again, I was a very young child. I was 6-7 years old as well, and like you. But it was the first time when I played a game as opposed to Mega Man or Mario where I did feel like the weight on the controller, where I had to build up speed, and I had to actually time my actions more accordingly.
Yeah, yeah.
And Mario, he just runs in a straight line, right? So.
Yeah, that's true. He's not very emotive.
Mario doesn't hold a candle to Sonic. I never had Mario underwear. Thank you. Like I only had Sonic underwear.
You didn't want a big man with a bushy mustache on your private parts?
Not at that point in my life.
Blue hedgehogs. That's okay. All right. I don't know if I ever had any Sonic underwear. They make that, right?
Pretty sure.
I guess now they do. Definitely.
Pretty sure I had them.
I actually did have Mario underwear.
Oh, really?
But I am wearing Sonic the Hedgehog socks right now.
They may. I guess that doesn't surprise me. This day and age,
socks, yeah.
Just go on to like Wish. You know that website?
Yeah.
They have everything there. They have like the most bizarre things you've ever seen in your life.
They do.
Like, if you ever wanted to have your girlfriend on your underwear holding your junk, well, you can get it there.
All right.
You've seen this, right, Marc?
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, we live in a day and age where you can just type something in Google, and, like, say, I'd like this as a t-shirt, and it'll appear, thanks to, like, algorithms and things.
Right. And so I had high hopes for Balan. Or Banal. Balan.
Banal Wonderland.
Oh my god, you're calling it Banal.
Fuck.
Anyway, yeah, I agree.
And yeah, and
so I was really excited.
Yeah,
I was very excited about this entry. Yuji Naka, like don't do that anymore. Yuji Naka, please.
You heard it here, folks. Yuji Naka, don't do that shit anymore. Cut it out.
But Yuji Naka, please, make like a Mega Man clone, and I'll be really happy.